So far during our trek to analyze the amphoreus cast, we've gone over Gets Paid to Scissor, Baby Elder, Immortal Male Wife, Miss Touch Starved, Scholar Built Like a Victorian Child, and now we're here with a TikTok streamer? Excuse me? In reality, cute little Hyacine is the leading physician of the Twilight Courtyard. The courtyard was once a healing haven for the skyfolk who lived above the clouds. However, that haven was lost due to the Black Tide. Hyacine was the one to revive the Twilight Courtyard by reinstating it at the Grove of Epiphany, now opening its doors to anyone in need of care. So no, she's not a live streamer. I'd follow if she was though. Her character details speak on how she brought a glimmer of light to Evernight. An Axe's voice line about her has him outright describe her as the light of the courtyard, comparing it to how the divine tree can only grow thanks to sunlight. This is certainly an apt description of her, even from a surface level glance at her character. She's soft-spoken, bubbly, and simply adorable. This association to light actually works given her name's origin. She's named after Hyacinthus, a Spartan prince and lover of Apollo in Greek mythology. He became the hyacinth flower after his death. With how much Hyacine wants to brighten up people's lives, to bring hope to those in the final days, a ray of light shining in from the future, it makes sense to name her after someone who has a connection to the god of light. Her full name, Hyacintha, is the name of a Spartan festival celebrating the death of Hyacinthus, going further and explaining the Spartan aesthetic of the skyfolk. The hyacinth flower can represent a whole ton of things depending on the color. Pink hyacinths in particular represent playful joy, brightening the mood by bringing a sense of levity to whoever they're given to. Much like how Hyacine's fourth character story illustrates how often other people write to her, appreciate her hope, and are at times inspired by her. She's so sweet and pure-hearted that if you dislike her, you have a heart made of coal. No debate about that. Aside from that, there are two other characters she draws inspiration from. Oh yeah, we're getting this out of the way now. Around 6 of which Flame Chaser are they? Hyacine draws inspiration from Flame Chaser number 8, Sakura, as well as her younger sister Rin. She has similar physical attributes to the sisters and inherited Ren's more cheerful and sweet personality. Meanwhile, Hyacine's occupation as physician may have been chosen as an inverse of Sakura starting out as a hit woman who would kill people infected with Honkai illness. Sakura was basically euthanizing people, while Hyacine makes an active effort to cure as many people as she can. Now, this next part has more to do with Yae Sakura and Yae Ren, not Sakura and Ren. Yes, these four are separate characters. I'll leave it to my HI3 experts to explain that one. JKL, that's your cue, bud. Anyway, Yae Sakura was the eldest daughter of the village chief. Her sister Ren was often sick, and Sakura put it upon herself to take care of her. Think of it like Kohaku and Rui from Dr. Stone, but Kohaku was the older sis. Sakura was also a shrine maiden, trained to perform sacred cleansings and purifications. Her role as a shrine maiden and her caringness for her sister were translated as Hyacine's occupation and her love for everybody. On top of that, Yae Sakura's duty as the daughter of the village chief is similar to the sense of duty Hyacine feels to finish what her ancestors started and heal the sky from Aquila's terror. We initially learn Hyacine is a descendant of the Day Thunder Knight Seliosi, who ushered in Amphoreus' Flame Chase era by fighting the Sky Titan. The legend went that Seliosi defeated Aquila, but had to take over the Titan's role of holding up the sky. Inspired by her act of heroics, the two tribes of skyfolk united and left their airborne fortress to begin living on the land with everyone else. But this series of events was far from the actual truth. Seliosi's two loyal steeds, Solibus and Lunibus, reveal that truth as the team make their way up to Aquila. Hyacine and her ancestors were not related to Seliosi at all. Instead, they descended from an unnamed Chrysos heir who was spared from the judgment of Seliosi, who essentially fused with Aquila. That heir made a deal to pass down a glorified epic of Seliosi's actions in the hopes her descendants would one day prove they could overcome their imperfections and fulfill the Flame Chase journey. Now, why did Seliosi fuse with Aquila? Well, it had little to do with holding up the sky like the false legend said. She did it to rid herself of her humanity. You see, there were two tribes of skyfolk, Sun and Rain. Seliosi belonged to both tribes, and thus fought to stop Aquila so they would abandon their blind faith in the god and set aside their differences. The story that was passed down made it seem like the two tribes did find a sense of harmony between them thanks to her sacrifice. Yet in reality, her striking down Aquila only divided them further. She became a new goddess in the eyes of some skyfolk, who would then oppress those unwilling to abandon their faith in Aquila. Those old believers would team up with the Cleaners in retaliation for that oppression. Instead of targeting Seleucia, the Cleaners went after the other Chrysos heirs present in the Sky Fortress. It's here I want to talk about the story of Icarus, the Greek figure that little Ica is named after. In the mythology, Icarus was a human who crafted wings of wax to escape captivity. However, in his hubris, he flew too close to the sun. His wings melted, causing him to plummet to his death. It's a cautionary tale about pride, meant to teach us that we humans have limits. Trying to perform acts that transcend our humanity will only lead to our ruin. A similar lesson is told in the story of Seleucia, a hero who gave up on humanity and thus transcended to a titan to escape it. And to be fair, she kinda has a point. Humanity is constantly at conflict with itself. Due to our individual flaws, insecurities, and various beliefs, it's simply impossible for everyone to get along. Doesn't matter how peaceful the era is, there will always be someone who finds reasons to start shit or look down on others who are different from them. I mean, the whole humans were the real monsters all along is a trope for a reason. With that in mind, why even combat the Titans? Why fight for the sake of humanity? Well, as Hyacine's actual ancestor made clear, there are redeemable qualities to humankind.
Because beyond our flaws, the virtue that we all share is tenacity.
Yes, as proven by stories like the one of Icarus, there are things humans simply cannot achieve. But those limits pale in comparison to everything we can achieve, even with our flaws, so long as we keep pressing forward. As seen with both Phynon and Hyacine during this patch, they're able to persevere and triumph by embracing their flaws and loving other people regardless of their flaws. Unlike Seleucia, Hyacine never gives up on humanity, thus proving herself to be the perfect individual to watch over them as the new incarnation of the Sky Titan. She uses her rainbow light to protect the citizens of Alcamoth and give them a crumb of peace in the midst of great despair. The reveal of her actual lineage, her occupation as physician, and her loving nature, it all ties into her greatest desire. During a flashback sequence, we learn that Hyacine wanted to complete the final blank page at the end of the hero's epic. She wanted ordinary people to be remembered, not just the legendary heroes. Everyone's story is important, no matter how grand or small the scale is. That wish is exactly why she became a physician.
I wish not to return to the sky, but to walk among the masses on Earth. I believe it's the only way for the saga of creation. To include a footnote for the everyday people in its blank page.
The 3.3 quest made me really like Hyacine a lot. If I wasn't saving for Phynon, Hyacine, and Ceridra, her story definitely would have convinced me to pull for her. Seeing her inherit the will of her ancestors, the will of humanity, to defeat the final titan was breathtaking. The song that plays during the final phase, Proi Proi, encapsulates the moral of her story. A person's flaws do not always need to be judged harshly like sins. Even with our flaws, we can spark a hopeful light during dark times and mend the fabric of dusk and dawn. Some things might be impossible for us to achieve, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't attempt to find out where our limits are. Hyacine's story is meant to tell us it's better to try and fail than not to try at all. Thank you for watching this video. This is one part of a series of analysis videos on Honkai Star Rail's cast of characters. If you want to see me analyze another character from this game, please subscribe to the channel so we can hit our goal of 2,000 subscribers this year. It's totally free, you can unsub at any time, and it'll make me smile. As a smaller content creator on the platform, engaging with my videos truly helps. If you feel so generous as to support me financially, I have a Ko-fi you can donate to, and if you want some short novels to read, you can buy my book series Flamebringer Prince off Amazon. Links to them in the description. Thank you once again for watching, have a great rest of your day, and until we meet again, take care.